bit tired, so maybe what we can do now is we really inhale really deep. And now just imagine, you're a small boy or girl, and we're born and raised in Austria. And your father's like the local police officer, and there are like 50 small houses in this village you were born. And but from the beginning on, you really knew deep inside you that you want to achieve big things in life. And at the age of 15, you get into bodybuilding. And you say, I want to become the most famous bodybuilder of all time. And everyone around you says, that's crazy. That's, how can you even make up such a story? But no, you actually make it. And in the year 1967, at the age of 21, you make it and you move to California. And it takes you 3 years to become Mr. Olympia. And 6 years later, you stay on the top. And I mean, most of us, we could, you earn a lot of money, you can just settle down now and live your life. You live in California, it's nice weather. But no, you say, now I want to go into acting. And you say, I want to become one of the most well-known, famous movie stars that ever lived. And everyone says like, yeah, look at you. Your body is way out of proportion. Your English is terrible. And your accent is really, really terrible. But no, all those naysayers, you make it. And what can happen then after that? I mean, you can do movies forever for your life, be successful, earn millions of dollars. But no, now you say, I want to go into politics, I want to change the world. And you make it. And again, everyone says, like, how can you even come up with this idea? You're well known for sports, you're well known for shooting people in your movies, and now you really want to go into acting, into politics, and no one can even pronounce your name. But no, you still think that you can do it. And what happens is, you become governor of California in 2003, and you even get re-elected. And I probably don't have to tell you now who I was talking about. Okay. And today I want to share 5 life rules of success that really apply to Arnold, but I think are also really important for us and our business life. And what is also, I think, really the leading phrase from the whole presentation is, no pain, no gain. And I will come to that. So, the first rule is, think big. At the beginning of every new year, Arnold wrote down what he wants to achieve in the upcoming year. And every year he managed to achieve it. And he left also, he never left a stone unturned that he achieves those goals. And also, what I like about this quote here is, you don't have to read it all, it just says, don't think modest, don't think in small terms, think in huge terms. Have a dream. And Arnold, when he was born and raised, he was poor. He had no money at home. It was shortly after the Second World War in Austria, but he always said that he was rich. And he was rich because he had a dream. And this also brings me now to my next rule. Work your butt off. Once someone asked Arnold, hey Arnold, you do so much stuff in your life. I barely manage, to get my stuff together. How can you do that? And Arnold just said, okay, the day is 24 hours. You're sleeping 6 hours a day, so you have 18 hours left. Make every hour count. And the guy said, yeah, but I like to sleep 8 hours per night. And Arnold just said, well, then you just have to sleep faster. And it's always like, let me maybe, for example, tell you what he was doing in his early years. So he came to California in 1967, and what he did there, he trained, obviously for his bodybuilding, and they trained 4 or 5 hours every day in the morning. Then he had his bricklaying business, so he worked for 7 or 8 hours on a construction business. Then, in the evening, he took acting classes, he took language classes, of course, because he really had to work on his accent. And what he also did is, he went to the beach, he had fun, he went out, he really managed a lot of things. And he even, as you see here, he went to college. And in 1977, he graduated with a bachelor in economics. And what I think is just so amazing here, that he went through all this hustle all the time. You know, there was so much work to do, but he always pushed through it. He always went through the pain to get what we see in the end, the game. And well, also what we know is business before pleasure. And Arnold not only worked a lot, he also always knew how to enjoy himself and how to have fun. And in this picture, it was 1976. He just won the Mr. Olympia contest, and you see him, you know, enjoying some cake and a nice drink. And I think what is also a controversial ingredient in this picture is the small joint that he's smoking there. And I don't know if you know that, but Bill Clinton was once accused of being a stoner during his college times. And they asked Bill Clinton, like, yeah, did you smoke weed? And he said, I smoke joints, but I never inhaled. And, yeah, Bill Clinton, you know. And then they asked Arnold the same question, and Arnold said, I smoked the joint and I inhaled it. And I think it just shows also that Arnold is always, like, you know, really open. He's not faking himself, what a lot of, you know, rich business people do. He always, you know, he's Arnold himself. He's always Arnold. And also, maybe I think what is a really funny story about him, like Arnold liked to give also people kind of prankish advices when he thought that they were arrogant or, you know, looking above other people. And so in let's say in the 60s, he lived for 2 years in Munich, and there was like a bodybuilder coming up to him, and he said like, yeah, I want to win the Mr. Munich contest, and I have the perfect body, and I'm the perfect poser, and I just, you know, want to learn like a small new routine. And Arnold said to him, okay, you know, show me what you got. And you know, he took off his clothes, posed for him, and I say in Arnold's words, he said he looked like nothing, you know, like nothing number one, and his posing was bad. So Arnold just said, okay, you know, if you're so arrogant, I'm gonna put a little trick on you. And he said, okay, there's this new posing routine from the US, and what you have to do while you're posing is you have to scream. So people, you know, can't, you know, they will always look at you. So they say, oh, that's a smart idea. So, you know, Arnold taught him how to pose, you know. So he had to scream high when he, like, you know, when the arms were high, and low when the arms were low. So like, wow! You know, just imagine that. And then 2 weeks later, the guy went on stage, you know, and the first thing he did, you know, he was like walking on the stage, and the first thing was like really like, wow, you know, he really gave a loud shout. And he hit like 3-4 poses, and they carried him off the stage because they just thought he was like crazy. And I think it just really shows that Arnold always had a sense of humor. And also right now, I mean, this guy, he's now 67 years old. And this was last year, and this was for charity, so he dressed up as like a gym trainer. He called himself Howard. I think he looks more like Mr. Miyagi from Karate Kid. But what he did, you know, he went to the people and gave them some stupid prankish advices. And guys, let's be honest, if you're a millionaire, if you did so much stuff in your life, you're already 67 years old, would you still be open for just, you know, going out and doing such kind of pranks? I mean, it's for me hard to imagine, but I think it still shows me this guy still enjoys his life. This guy still has fun. And this brings me now also to my next point. Promote yourself. And you know, in the 1960s, for example, like going to the gym and the whole gym lifestyle was more like for, you know, for people, for first of all for men, secondly more for like weirdos or gay people. This was really like the public image of it. Where Arnold managed within the 1970s to really shift the whole perception of the fitness lifestyle and made exercising really popular and broadly accepted. And I mean, nowadays, I think there's nothing weird about anymore to exercise and do sports. And I think at least like a lot of you have already been to a gym now, and I don't think that anyone feels that it's weird there or something. And this was really a big success of Arnold and his promotion ability to really, you know, go to the people and really showing them that that's a nice lifestyle and it's good to work out and it's good to live healthy. And what I think is also awesome about him, promotion-wise, as you said, you know, he wanted to become a governor, and imagine this, you know, everyone knows you for being the, you know, Terminator, for being Mr. Olympia, and now people have to vote you. So, and also the problem was what we said, no one could pronounce his, like a lot of people couldn't really pronounce his last name, you know, everyone called him like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you know, also this is just what his quote also says, it just says, executive said, we can't put your name on a marquee. I mean, you know, you have normally those politician signs, and then you have his name there, and most of the people actually called him just the governor, because he couldn't pronounce his name. So, but again, you know, all this criticism, all this pain he had to go through, like all the laughter he even had to face, you know, he pushed through it, you know, and he managed, he got the game, he achieved it to become governor. And yeah, promote yourself. And the next thing is, I think for us business students is kind of also really important, maybe the most important fact is make money out of it, what you're doing. And one question to you guys, how do you think that Arnold made his first million?
As an actor?
Actor?
Sponsorship? I think bodybuilding.
Bodybuilder?
The first billion or million?
The first million.
Investing?
He never was a billionaire. Actually, with real estate business. So what he did is, first of all, he came to America, and there was Joe Weider. He was like the, you know, the representative of the whole, gym culture, bodybuilding. You know, he had like a lot of all those magazines, you know, with those muscular guys on the top. He was promoting that. And so he gave Arnold, you know, a small salary. With this salary, Arnold was able to start his bricklaying business. And then, you know, he always had to work on constructions. Here you see him. And, you know, even he was Mr. Olympia, but during the time you did not receive so much sponsoring money for that. And with this money, he started his own mail order business where he sold, you know, his training routines or his, you know, autographs. And with this money, he saved $10,000. With this $10,000, he made his first down payment on an apartment with, like, an apartment complex with like 4 apartments in there. And, you know, he restored, I think the word is renovated it, yeah? He renovated it, and then he sold it 1 year later, and then he bought one with 6 apartments, and so on. And he always, you know, made smart business decisions. After 3-4 years, he already owned several large complexes with apartments. And this is how he actually made his first million. And I think that's pretty interesting. I mean, I would also just assume that he would have made it through other businesses. Also, maybe, can someone maybe guess what this is? This pen here? Actually, I think this is really interesting about him. When he was governor, you know, normally, like, you know, we are politicians and we sit face to face in a really tiny, needy office, you know, and we have to talk business with each other. And Arnold never liked that, you know. Arnold liked to smoke cigars, so he started, he built up like his own tent. This was in the garden of the, where he was working as a governor. And, you know, he had like, you know, nice couches there, and he also had nice, you know, pictures of him on the walls. And then he started to invite all the politicians and influential people to his tent, you know, to his office, because there, you know, you could sit down with them, smoke a cigar, you know, and also have some informal talks. And I think this is also shows, you know, he was really smart, you know, like, also as a politician, it's all about those personal connections you have to create. And yeah, also, what he did, for example, in the 90s, he bought for 80 million a large share of a jumbo jet. And, you know, also everyone thought, like, why are you buying your jumbo jet? But he said, like, no, you know, I'm buying it, I'm leasing it out, I earn money with it. And this also shows me all those stories about Arnold. You know, he was interested in so many things. He always put in effort in a lot of different businesses. He always, you know, put in the hustle. He always put in the game, the pain, to get the gain. And yeah, well, what can I say else about him? I think you know, I didn't tell you so much about numbers and everything. We heard a lot about millionaires. Okay, he has like a net worth of 200 million, but for me, it's not so important about him. For me, what is important about him is that he's still someone, you know, here in this quote he says, now I have 50 million, before I had 48 million, but I'm still equally as happy. And this is what I really took from him, that let's say in the future, will people remember him as being like rich, you know, as a rich millionaire, or will people remember him as the governor, as the Terminator, or even as the Mr. Olympia? And I think that's really important for him. And also, what we said from the beginning on, he always went through the pain. He always, you know, he worked his butt off, he showed effort, and in the end you see all things went together. And yeah, I think also, well, okay, I think this was my presentation so far. And if Mr. Avocado lets me fail this, I'll be back.